Now joined by Ralph Silva of the Silva Research Network for his take on the RBS earnings out this hour. But first, we also want to take actually a little bit of stock of what Caroline was just talking about, all these new products being put online that banks are coming up with on the unrest. Is this too risky? Are they going to get a lot of flack for it?
Well, they have to actually provide products and services that the investors want. And quite frankly, the traditional products that they've had in this area simply aren't being sold. Investors are simply not interested in getting into this. So they're trying to find innovative ways of actually producing or giving the products that the customers want. And although
what do customers want? Risky assets?
They want longer term assets. Interestingly enough, they want more mid to long term instead of the short term. And RBS especially has been very good with the short term assets, but no one's buying that stuff. So they want to get a little bit longer term. And especially in the Middle East, you need the longer term assets. There's a future for the Middle East, there's no question. The short term future is questionable. The medium to long term future is less questionable. So these are the products that are far more appealing to customers.
You've given me a little bit of thoughts on what RBS had missed estimates, but you're still confident that Stephen Hester is doing a good job?
I think he is. I think the only luck RBS has had is bad luck. Unfortunately, with Greece and Ireland now, they've had some real problems. But I think Stephen Hester has given us a pound worth of value out of a 50p investment. Mathematically, this bank should be doing a lot worse than it is. And I know that's sad to say. They still lost 1.1 billion, but they are showing signs of actually increasing. The big problem is that the European Union is asking them to reduce their holdings in exactly the areas that they're making money. They have to do that. I understand they have to do that, but it makes it very, very hard for RBS to recover.
But so what happens to RBS in a couple of years? Are we going to look at the bank in a completely different way?
Yeah, they're going to be a much smaller organization, a profitable organization, but a much smaller organization, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe parts of it are going to be owned by foreign entities, and I can see that. But they're going to be primarily a retail bank, and the UK needs more retail banks and more retail banking competition. So it's a good thing for the bank.
What do you expect? I know it's very difficult to say, but share prices are going to go up and down, or are guys going to look at this and say, actually, I'm really disappointed about what happened?
I think there's going to be some disappointment. I think we're going to see some volatility in the share price, at least for the next 2 or 3 days. I think Lloyd's is going to actually turn that around. HSBC should do very well next week. So overall, the British banking system is much improved. RBS is the outlier, but I think RBS will eventually catch up, so the stock price will also catch up.
And we were also speaking, we had some earnings from Crédit Agricole today, and actually the French banks are ticking along nicely.
Yeah, they're doing absolutely amazing, and it's actually a big surprise. But the customers are buying products, they're actually moving the economy along. The French banks are definitely a buy, not just the short term, but medium, long term. They've done incredibly well because they have such a diversified model. They're incredibly safe as well.
But Ralph, how much does this have to do with what the bank is offering, and how much does it just have to do about the French consumer being more confident about their future?
I think it's a little bit of both, but probably mostly the consumer. They're borrowing money, they're buying houses, they're buying new fridges, new cars. They're actually doing what exactly we should be doing everywhere else in Europe. And I think they're just the first ones to do it, and the French banking system is actually benefiting from it.
Ralph, thank you so much. Ralph Silva there.